Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm back to talk about Supernatural, episode 1417, titled Game Night, which premiered Thursday, April 4th, 2019 on the CW. I'm recording roughly 50 minutes after the episode is aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episodes. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen. Take a moment to remind yourselves of those. Otherwise, I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes, so let's start the clock, and let's see what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, I'm assuming it's been a few days since the events of 1416, because Mary has returned, in the fact that Castiel is off on his own little side mission. So there's that. That could also be the same mission he was on in the previous episode when he was absent. So there's that. Episode reminder, I'm going to say the title Game Night could be accounted to what was supposed to be Winchester Family Game Night, or to the fact that we get Nick returning and he's playing his games in his own amusement. So there's that. Episodes, breakdowns for storylines. There are two different ones going on in this episode. First one being saving Donatello. Second one dealing with trying to contact God. So with the first storyline, we get Nick pretty much kidnapping Donatello and injecting him with angel grace so that he could use the prophet to talk to Lucifer, who's awake in the big empty. Apparently with that conversation, he finds out that he needs Jack's blood specifically as one of the ingredients to bring Lucifer back from the empty. He also includes his blood as well, chants some words to open up a portal, and Lucifer in some black goo comes walking through. Though thankfully Jack intervenes and sends his ass right back to the big empty. So there's that. Second storyline with trying to contact God, Castiel recruits Sister Jo to help him contact God, because Sister Jo used to be the right-hand angel of Joshua, who is the only angel known to have who had heard from God himself when they were in heaven long ago. During this adventure, we do see the return of the Samulet. That is the amulet Dean had in the first 5 seasons of the show, that Sam had given to him during one Christmas during their childhood. We do find out that God is the only one that could restore our soul. And we also find out that, Sister Jo calls Castiel out on the fact that they both know that Jack no longer has his soul after killing Michael. Whether that's true or not, I'll get back to it later on, but there's that. Last scene of the episode shows Jack apparently, or it's alluding to Jack doing something to Mary because his eyes flashed. He was experiencing some headache from the sounds of it, or he's trying to reel back the power that he had inside of him. Mary's trying to get him to focus, and Jack's eyes flash with his powers, and then the screen cuts to black to the credit screen, but we still hear Jack like calling out to Mary as if like he wasn't sure what was happening. It's kind of like, Mary? And then that was it. So it's leading us to assume that he did something without meaning to. So there's that. So tidbit-wise, we do see in this episode Sam getting a massive hits to the head by Nick, which lead to a very bad injury that needed Jack's healing. So it could be all the hits that Sam has taken over the seasons have finally caught up with him. So there's that. We do find out that Dean's favorite game as a kid was Mousetrap. And it was funny that we actually got to see him play it at the very beginning. So there's that. We also see Mary feeling guilty for her absence lately. She was last seen in the 300th episode, 1413, with John. Dean even comments on the fact that Mary turning inward during moments and not really seeking support from others. He comments like that's something he got from her, if I got that correctly. But it was the sneak peek that they released before the episode. So there's that. And we also have Nick claiming to Jack that Lucifer did love him before Jack betrayed him. Allegedly betrayed him. So there's that. End tally or death tally, I would have to say it is Nick. He was killed by Jack from his powers, and not accidentally either. He went to town on torturing Nick before killing him for everything. So there's that. And I'm assuming the 2 demons that were attacking Dean were killed by Dean. I'm assuming. I only remember seeing one of them getting stabbed with an angel blade. I don't recall what happened in the second one, but there is that. Moving on to most shocking moment of the episode, I will have to say it has to be the last scene where Jack did something to Mary and we're just not sure what exactly happened, or what we're left to believe, but it just left us with the feeling of, wait, what type of thing? So there's that. Moving on to top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be Dean trying to play the mousetrap game at the very beginning, to the point that like we see him trying it over and over again, and then it cuts to Jack and Mary in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden you hear Dean shouting "son of a bitch," as if like he couldn't do something in the game, or like the game beat him again. So it was really funny how like really into it Dean got, and then Jack was like, "Isn't this supposed to be relaxing?" to Mary, and that was a fun little opener right there. So there's that. They do have a little bit of banter of like pizza toppings between Dean and Jack, so that was a fun thing there. Second favorite I did have was Castiel finding this amulet. It was very great to see him attempt to contact God, and that he took this amulet with him. So I think, if anything, Chuck is hopefully going to answer the call. It might take some time, but I wonder if Castiel is going to return it to Dean, or if he's... Wait, is that the exact same one, or is that another version of the necklace that Joshua had created? I'm not sure, but I just like the fact that it returned back to the show. Since, I mean, I guess the last time we kind of saw it was in the 200th episode, but it was a prop version. I don't know when was the last time we saw the actual Samulet. I mean, it had to be when God came, right? When Chuck revealed himself as God. It'll be up on screen, but there's that. And the third favorite I had was the fact that Jack prevented Lucifer's return. I thought he was going to be too late, especially when Lucifer walked out of the portal from the empty. But I really like that Jack just used his powers and just shoved him back in the portal and shut it. So I do appreciate that. At least he prevented that from happening. We don't need that right now. I have a feeling, though, that's probably going to be an issue in the final season. So there's that, which is another thing I'll get to anyways. But moving on to top 3 peeved moments. The first one I had was the fact that Sam hesitated to knock Nick unconscious during the whole pack when he was on top of him. He was getting ready to choke him out. I mean, he had him in a chokehold, so I don't get why he stopped all of a sudden. I mean, there are ways that he could have subdued Nick without actually killing him if that was one of his reservations. But like the moment that he let go, that gave Nick the opportunity to grab the rock and smack Sam with it so many times that resulted in his head injury. So it's like I was a little annoyed that when Sam had him in the chokehold, he didn't just knock him out. Like really, like, I mean, you don't have to kill the guy, but like I feel like at least stop him, right? Don't give him the upper hand type of thing, which he ended up doing. But there's that. Another peeve that I had was the fact that Jack figured out that the syringe was filled with angel grace a little too late to my liking. I mean, unless like they were going through the box when he was talking to Nick alone, but I'm like wondering why didn't they look through the box? Because like Dean talked to Nick first, so I'm assuming while that was happening, I'm assuming Sam, Mary, and Jack could have been looking through the box during that time, right? So then why wouldn't have Jack felt the power of the angel grace in the syringe at that point before he's told that from Dean that Nick wants to see him? So it's like I felt like before they left with Nick, they should have already known that what was in the syringe was not thallium like he claims. So that was a peeve there. I just felt like that could have made a difference if they found out beforehand what was going on. So there's that. Let's move on to what will I remember most. We'll look back on this episode. The fact that Jack stopped Nick from bringing Lucifer back, for sure, would have to be a major one. I mean, while Mary kind of disagrees about it, but again, Nick has proven time and time again that he can escape and he will bring more chaos with him. So it's like there's no other way you could stop him, right? So not to sound morbid or emotionless, but that's the pattern that we've been given. So there's that. Let's move on to random questions very quickly. First one, why did Jack only see that syringe when Mary was packing things up? Like I mentioned before in the peeves, I would have thought that they would have seen it sooner. So I've already talked about that. Next question, if Nick is an escape artist pretty much, why didn't the Winchesters restrain him differently? Handcuffed him behind his head, have him in ankle and wrist cuffs. What about that whole bar that has the handcuffs on the end of it so like his hands wouldn't be close to each other to allow for any lock picking things to happen, and just have it by like his waist? I mean, I can think of so many different ways they could have kept him restrained to the point that he wouldn't be able to get out, and yet they didn't do that because like he was already on the way of breaking himself free, right? So that was a question there. Another question is, how would the Empty feel about Lucifer trying to leave its domain? I'd hope he'd be pretty pissed just as much as when Castiel left or when he was trying to get Jack. I would hope so. I'd hope that he would not want Lucifer free from his clutches. hopefully. So there's that. Another question, do you think that we'll see God return to help Jack? I want to see Chuck again. I really hope that he can bring some insight, especially for Jack, since he's the only one of his kind. So it's like he should shed some light on some things. So there's that. If anything, I hope in season 15 we do see Chuck again for sure. But we'll have to wait and see about that. And last question, is it true that Jack doesn't have a soul anymore? He doesn't act, there's a timer, but he doesn't act like Sam when he had no soul, and he doesn't act like Donatello who has no soul. And I still see Jack's moments of being worried and scared for others as if he does have a soul, but then there are times where, like, when he uses his powers and his thoughts on that, it's very different from when he first got his powers. So it's like, I could believe that he doesn't have part of his soul anymore, but to be told that he doesn't have any of it at all, I just don't know what to think about that. So what do you guys think about that? But let's move on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 14-18, it looks like Jack is missing. So Sam, Dean, and Castiel are rushing to find him, but we see Jack hiding away from Nick. So either that's a hallucination of Nick, because I'm pretty sure he killed him in this episode, or something going on there, or if it's Lucifer, a hallucination of Lucifer that he's seeing. But anyways, we do see the promo hints to the fact that Dean learns that Castiel has been hiding things from them about Jack, and then it also cuts to the point of Dean telling Castiel that you're dead to me type of thing. Don't know if that's just the cutting magic or if he was talking to Castiel or not, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But the synopsis for the episode reads, Sam and Dean continue to worry about the condition of Jack's soul. Very small, very cut and dry. Mary, I don't recall seeing her in the promo. She's not mentioned in the synopsis, so we don't know what happened to her in that final scene of the episode. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. So since the last new episode aired, they have announced that on March 22nd, that season 15 of Supernatural will be the final season, consisting of 20 episodes. It's been, 2 weeks since the news has broke for me, and I'm still reeling over it. It's still so surreal because, again, I've been watching it since 2005. It's been a huge chunk of my life. It's been a huge constant. So to be told that it's going to end next year, I really don't know how to feel about it. A lot of people won't understand that, but I'm assuming anyone that's part of the SPN family would understand just how much of a staple this show has been, how much it's been a part of us, and how much it's connected us all to each other. So it's a little surreal for me too, but yeah, I guess it also makes you a little worried because now season 15, anything could happen. They could bring anybody back, but that also means a lot of people can go to and be final about it. So it has me worried, but that was the news. But otherwise, guys, that is pretty much it. What did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think will happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, opinions about all of that good stuff. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place, so go check it out. I'm up to date when it comes to promos, web clips, and synopses, but any of the gifs and stuff, I'm still a little behind on that. So be patient with me. But WordPress account, link for that is down below. Anything I post online is connected to WordPress. It's a little more organized, a little more detailed, but it's still a work in progress. But if you want any Tumblr tags, go check that out more for the list. And otherwise, live journal entry link is down below. I summarize jot noted version of the episode as I watch it for the first time. It keeps things in line. It keeps things organized for me. It keeps Italian quotes. So if that helps you, check out the link down below. It leads you to my whole blog there. But otherwise, guys, that is pretty much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. We have 3 more episodes of the season, which ends at the end of this month. So I hope you come back to see what I have to say about those 3 episodes. So until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.